Well, hello and happy Monday, everybody. It is digital host AJ Wuest welcoming you back to Before the 4, where I take you through 48's top news stories and then some before the 4 p.m. newscast. Wherever you're watching right now, whether that is on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream, thank you for starting your week off here with me this fine Monday afternoon here at the 48 Now desk. Now, what is the best gift you've ever given or received? That is our 48 Facebook question of the day, and make sure to stick around for the end of today's Before the 4 as I shout out some of what all you had to say. But until then, I say let's jump into some of today's top stories. And starting things off in Huntsville, a South Star Music Festival headliner will no longer perform. The festival announced on Facebook earlier today. Now, rock band Jane's Addiction said their tour was canceled after two band members got into a scuffle on stage Friday night. The scuffle was between lead singer Perry Farrell and guitarist Dave Navarro. Festival spokespeople stated they are working hard to replace the band's performance slot. Now, the music festival is scheduled for John Hunt Park on September 28th and 29th. Now in the Shoals, a man accused of shooting and killing another man outside of a Sheffield nightclub will be put on trial. Tawan Southern, who you are seeing on screen, was indicted by a Colbert County grand jury for reckless murder. The 23-year-old is accused of shooting 27-year-old Christopher Fuqua back in early August outside of a club called the Underground Club. Court documents say Fuqua was with a group of other men when one of them began arguing with Southern. Southern then allegedly fired into the group, hitting and killing Fuqua. Southern is currently held in a Colbert County jail, or in the Colbert County jail, on a $200,000 bond. He is scheduled for arraignment on October 1st. And staying in the Shoals, officials say a 13-year-old boy was taken into custody Friday night after allegedly bringing a BB gun to a football game. Now, this happened at the East Lawrence versus Hatton game last Friday. The child is accused of bringing the BB gun to the game and brandishing it. Multiple spectators at the game saw the child doing this and alerted the school resource officer nearby. The SRO conducted a pat-down on the child and found the gun. The child was then taken into custody. He is facing charges of bringing a gun onto school property. And 48's Aria Pons will have more on the situation coming up in our evening newscast with updates. So make sure to stick around and get the latest from Aria. Now, let's talk about the weather here this week in the Tennessee Valley. We got 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis with the latest forecast. Brad, how's the weather looking this week?
Well, AJ, finally a nice week. In fact, the whole week is going to be quiet, starting with today. Beautiful weather out there right now. Nothing on the radar, so let's get into this forecast. Out in the Shoals, Wilson Lake, just a few fair weather cumulus clouds, 84 degrees. Not much wind out there either. Once again, a quick look at the radar. We'll just move on from there. Over the next 10 days, 87 tomorrow, 88 Wednesday. So it's definitely feeling like late summer. Fall officially begins Sunday. And with that, not much change in the weather. Temperatures get a little bit cooler. We're talking 86 Sunday, 84 Monday. Overnight lows, check that out, upper 50s and low 60s. So this kind of an extended early fall weather looks to continue right on into next week. Quick hour-by-hour look beginning tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up right around 61 in Arab, 63 degrees in Florence, and by the lunch hour tomorrow on our way into the mid-80s. So overall, just a really nice day coming tomorrow. Not much wind, northerly winds bringing in lower humidity, right around 8 to 10 miles an hour, and by the evening hours, we're back into those upper 70s. So comfortable weather coming as we go through tomorrow night. Overall, a quiet week, not only for you, but for us meteorologists too. Back to you, AJ.
Well, that is certainly good news. Thank you, Brad. And I see we have a comment on Facebook from Carrie Thompson. Carrie said, happy Monday. Carrie, how are you doing today? How are you enjoying your Monday afternoon? Certainly, it seems like the weather is nice. I haven't gotten a chance to go out myself and feel this weather, but according to Brad, it should be a nice week all around. So that is exciting news right there. Now, in a little national news, we are learning more about the man in custody who allegedly attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump yesterday afternoon at the Trump International Golf Club, or golf course, rather. NBC's Bree Jackson with more.
A second assassination attempt against former President Trump. This latest happening at his Florida golf course.
Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed.
The incident comes just 9 weeks after another gunman aimed at the 78-year-old during a Pennsylvania rally, killing one and injuring several others. The Secret Service came under intense scrutiny for security failures then. In this case, agents spotted the suspect and quickly took action.
It's my understanding, Eamon, that he was laying in wait and Secret Service did a heroic job to see a needle in a haystack.
The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line.
Police arrested 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Ruth. Court records show he has a long criminal past in North Carolina. Officials say he now faces federal charges.
This guy's in a whole load of hurt right now.
Officers say a witness played a key role in identifying the suspect.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tank, which was great.
In a social media post, former President Trump praised law enforcement for keeping him safe, exclaiming that he's proud to be an American. Vice President Harris condemning political violence, urging all Americans to do their part to ensure that this incident does not lead to others. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Well, thank you, Bree. Now a few stories in case you missed them here in the Tennessee Valley. A Huntsville funeral director is urging the Huntsville community to end the gun violence after several teens were recently killed in shootings. 48's Daquan Lee has the story.
It's countless. The numbers keep going up and up and up.
A parent being forced to bury their child is a reality Brian Byers has seen all too often. He's the funeral director at Serenity Funeral Home in Huntsville. Saturday, he was responsible for guiding the family of 15-year-old Philip Fletcher through his funeral service.
This week, the team and myself had the opportunity to place Jordans on the feet of a 15-year-old. Not for prom, not for a fun occasion, but for the very last time. That is not something that we're interested in doing ever again. We plead and we beg to the community, please stop the violence.
Fletcher was shot and killed nearly 2 weeks ago on Max Luther Drive. But this isn't just a problem in Huntsville. Teenagers in Sheffield, Muscle Shoals, and Decatur have also lost their lives to gunfire this summer. And last week, a teen was arrested and accused of shooting and killing a man in Athens.
We're on a trend now to where we will possibly not even have anybody to bury us. And that is a sad thing.
Byers knows this takes a community effort for things to improve. Now he's calling on people in a position to make a positive change to inspire others to do the same.
We're asking for those that are gun owners to be more safer with protecting your weapon, keeping it in a secure place to where even the younger children don't get a hold to them.
Well, thank you. And yesterday, Daquan also reported on telecommunication company AT&T and the CWA finally reaching a deal to officially end the workers' strike. Daquan has details for you.
It's been nearly a month since AT&T workers went on strike demanding higher pay and better benefits. Now it seems both sides have worked out a deal that would get business back on track starting Monday morning. AT&T announced the tentative agreement with Communication Workers of America Sunday afternoon. Tens of thousands of workers across several southern states have been out of work, with many who were impacted right here in the Valley. And we've seen them picketing outside AT&T's offices in places like downtown Huntsville and 6th Avenue in Decatur for weeks. Now, we also reached out to a spokesperson for CWA after the deal was announced, but we were told they cannot comment until they learn more about the specifics of the agreement. And in a statement, AT&T COO Jeff McElfresh celebrated the deal, saying, quote, "Our goal has been to reach fair agreements that recognize the hard work our employees do to serve our customers with competitive market-based pay and benefits that are among the best in the nation." And that's exactly what we accomplished. Again, this deal is still pending union member approval, so it's not final just yet. The CWA will have to share the deal with its members, who will then have to move to vote on it in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Daquan. Now, we all know it. Popular social media app TikTok has been under the microscope for more than 4 years now, with the federal government hoping to ban the app altogether. But what would a TikTok ban really look like? NBC News' Zinke Esamoah simply explains.
The video sharing app, TikTok, once best known for dancing videos and slapstick pranks and trends,
Let Me De-Influence You Beauty Edition,
is now faced with the potential for a nationwide ban in the United States.
So what this would do is it would demand that ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, either sell off TikTok to an American-run company, or they would make it impossible for it to exist.
Put simply, the ban is set to take effect on January 19th, 2025, but legal action and a potential sale could delay that process. Quick history lesson. TikTok is owned by Chinese technology company ByteDance. As of April 2024, TikTok has more than 1 billion active users worldwide. 170 million of those users are in the U.S. A bipartisan bill to ban the app was first proposed in December 2022. Their reason?
TikTok is a major foreign threat.
The current version of the bill is not just TikTok, but TikTok's the only one we care about. It's a broader opportunity for the administration to look at anything that is owned by or collaborates with a foreign adversary.
In June, after investigating TikTok over privacy, the Federal Trade Commission referred their complaint to the Justice Department. In response, a TikTok spokesperson telling CNBC in part, "We've been working with the FTC for more than a year to address its concerns. We're disappointed the agency is pursuing litigation instead of continuing to work with us on a reasonable solution." In April 2024, President Biden signed a law that includes a fast-approaching 9-month deadline for TikTok to be sold to a U.S.-approved owner or face a widely contested ban.
Every bit of my livelihood is tethered to TikTok.
So what happens if a ban does take effect? TikTok would not disappear from phones, but it would be removed from the App Store, and no new downloads or updates would be possible.
Any third-party business that helps us use TikTok, it would make it virtually impossible for them to provide TikTok to users.
However, this could take years, if at all, due to TikTok taking that proposed law to court.
The reason that we care about this is that it is so popular. We've never seen anything like it.
The question is, will we continue to see TikTok on our phones? And that's the TikTok ban simply explained.
Well, thank you, Zinke. Now a very local story here at the 48 news station over the weekend. It was a feline fiasco. A kitten was trapped inside one of our reporters' engines of their vehicle, and after days of attempting to rescue the little fella, it finally decided it was time. Let's take a look.
All right, check this out. We've had a little feline fiasco here at WAFF over the past few days, and I'm happy to report that we have a new furry member of the 48 News team. Okay, not really, but wouldn't that be cool? Meet Francine, a Seal Point Siamese that blew into our parking lot and into our hearts during the recent storm. She gets her name from the hurricane, and she's been traveling from car to car in our parking lot. But over the course of 24 hours, the news team plus several first responders were unsuccessful in rescuing her. Yesterday afternoon, our very own Liz Hurley rescued the kitten and brought her to safety. Take a listen.
This little girl has been crying underneath various news vehicles since Friday morning. She has been so elusive, we have not been able to get her. Not any reporter, not 4 Huntsville police officers, not a fireman, none of us. It has been very challenging, but finally, she crawled under the right car that had the right access. And now this little girl, who is not even 6 weeks old, and we don't know how she got into the parking lot of WAFF, she is now on her way to Animal Services and some food and some IVs and a good checkout by the veterinarian down there. So, if you're interested in adopting this little girl, she is a Seal Point Siamese. How she got here, we don't know, but she'll probably be available soon.
All right, I'm pretty sure Liz is our modern day Snow White. And once again, if you are interested in adopting Francine, she's currently at Huntsville Animal Services getting the treatment and care that she needs. All right, check this out.
Yes, very awesome story there. And I was here Friday night watching it all go down. I think 3 or 4 different Huntsville police officers pulled into our parking lot to try to rescue the little kitten. And Liz, who you just heard speak, she was determined to get this cat. She set out some tuna. She got everything to try to get this cat, but that cat was just not coming out. So it is great to see that cat was rescued finally. And like what Liz said, if you are interested in adopting, she should be available for adoption very soon. But awesome story there. But now a cool story I saw earlier today as well. It is time for the good side. A firefighter who has been serving for 50 years is inspiring generations to follow in his footsteps. Local News Live reporter Michaela Shelton tells us about how Jesse Yates and why he continues to protect and serve at 82 years.
Jesse Yates has been a firefighter with Gretna Fire and EMS since the early 1970s. 50 years later, he's run around 20,000 calls during his career, saving countless lives along the way.
It's something I enjoy doing, helping the people out and help save property and stuff like that, and it means the world.
It also means the world to all 3 of his daughters who followed in his footsteps.
I was 6 years old when he joined, so that's how long he's been doing it, and I've been watching him do it.
Along with their children.
When my son was born and when he turned 3, he'd say, I want to fight fire like Papa.
At 82 years young, he's still fighting fires, and if you ask if he has any plans to retire soon...
No. I enjoy fooling with them, being around them. I told him years ago if I didn't enjoy it, I'd be going to quit.
His daughters feel the same way.
I hope not. I enjoy running calls with him now just as well as I did then. I just enjoy seeing him come out and still doing what he loves doing.
He just doesn't like to sit still. So yes, it keeps him very active. And yeah, I do worry about him, but I know what he wants to do, so I try to go along with it.
Jesse has received numerous awards like Firefighter of the Year 5 times. He's held almost all ranks in the fire department up to assistant chief and was captain of the rescue squad for 2 years. But when he's not out running calls and fighting fires, he's typically working on his favorite 51 Ford truck that he still drives today.
I restored that truck back in the mid-70s. It's all original. This is what they call one of the old favorites. It's an antique, but it's a good old truck. It runs good.
If you include his cousins, a third of the 80 members are related to Jesse and were influenced by him in some way.
He is loved by everybody in this community. Everybody that knows him just they have nothing but good things to say about him.
Jesse says he's proud of the growth the department has seen over his time there and hopes those after him continue his efforts to encourage younger generations to help others.
You're going to have goers and comers as you go along, but just try to encourage them and help a neighbor as much as I can.
In Gretna, Michaela Shelton, WDBJ 7.
Wow. Such a hero right there. That story is awesome. And that is what I will call a story you're just not going to want to miss. And of course, speaking of the stories you're just not going to want to miss, let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. The Limestone County Animal Shelter closing its doors in just a few weeks. But where are the animals going to go? 48's Callie Neese will have more coming up for that story you're just not going to want to miss. The lunar eclipse tomorrow, that's one thing you're just not going to want to miss as well. Get the details on it coming up in our evening newscast. And finally, a story on how to tackle isolation in the workplace. These are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. And with that said, I believe it is time we remember that question I asked at the very beginning of Before the Four today. Well, I think it is about time we pull up that question. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Facebook Fun. Yes. So what is the best gift that you have ever given or received? I have certainly received, I know at least, a lot of very, very good gifts growing up. I was blessed with incredible parents, and they gifted me some pretty much whatever I wanted, I got. I was spoiled, I know, being the only child as well. Honestly, the gift of being an only child probably, I could say, was probably one of the best gifts I ever received. But what I want to know is what you all had to say. And let's take a look. Bridget, she said, my children and granddaughter, absolutely. I have not been blessed with that gift quite yet in my life, but I'd imagine at some point that will be a truly incredible gift. Yes, absolutely, Bridget. That is awesome. Thank you so much for commenting. And Jeff, he said he opened 2 of the best gifts ever this morning. My eyes, 100%. Those are 2 very, very great gifts. You have old lefty and you have old righty right here. And without them, it would be very difficult. So Jeff, thank you so much for commenting. Greatly appreciate it. And let's see. Ooh, a long comment here. David Henderson said he received it yesterday for his birthday. Oh, well, happy late birthday, David. The Van Gogh exhibit with merch for an artist that paints primarily Van Gogh pieces and studied him for many, many years. This gift was definitely the most meaningful ever, as it was from the heart of someone who understood me. How sweet, David. That is awesome. I'd love to see some of your paintings. I bet they are truly wonderful. And Van Gogh, I know he was an absolute legend. But David, have a great time at the Van Gogh exhibit. That should be a very, very fun time. And yeah, thank you so much for commenting. And once again, happy late birthday. But that just about does it for today's Before the Four. I want to thank you all for sticking around with me, starting off your week this Monday afternoon here at the 48 Now desk. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 Digital app. Also, you're going to want to get that 48 First Alert weather app and the 48 Sport Zone app. Y'all, it is already week 4 of high school football. This week, I'm trying to think, what is our game of the week? Oh, that is, of course, Gunnersville and Arab. That is the 48 game of the week this Friday. Should be a really, really good game, but make sure you stick around for that. Download the 48 Digital, or the 48 Sport Zone app, rather. Turn on all those push notifications on those apps and you will never miss a breaking news story. But with that said, that is just about all the time I have in today's Before the Four. But as always, I want to thank you for watching. You all have a great night.